I've just released a document called Why Play Matters, and we're really looking at policy level. And actually, the impact of play on children's mental health and well-being is so huge. There's so much research around it, but actually, it's getting that information out there. So the last couple of weeks, I've been saying to school staff, have you heard anything about what's going on in the play sphere? Because there's so much, but nobody's saying to me that they've heard anything. So I'm thinking, am I the only one who's listening to this kind of narrative? And actually, it needs to be out there in schools and talking about, getting our children active. We've got an obesity crisis as well. We've got a health crisis with children sitting behind screens. Our playgrounds are dominated by football, and so many schools I work with, football is the only activity, or it's taking up at least 50% of the playground. So that means that we're not meeting the needs of all the rest of our students.
And picking up the point that you made earlier about the reception child wanting to sit on a chair in the sand pit, and that kind of sense of lethargy or tiredness, whatever the language is around it, do you think, how do you think that they're linked together?
What I see happening now is children are being allowed to be on screens from a very young age, so from toddler age. And so I was in a cafe just recently, and a child, I've never seen this before, but apparently it's quite common. There was I'd say, 10-month-old, and the parents, really lovely parents, nothing like lovely parents trying to do the best for their child. But I think it's become normal. They basically put their child in a cafe behind a screen. Just they thought they were doing the best thing for their child. And I've been speaking to other new parents who said that's really, really common. It's become normalized. So we have to stop making that a normalized behavior. It's normal for us to sit around a table and talk. It's normal for us to engage. It's normal for us to be playful with one another. It's normal for our children to go and run in the fields behind our houses. I'm lucky I've got fields, so
Yeah, I
my
know.
daughter spent her childhood doing that. And it's, but also there's a parental fear of stranger danger. So so a lot of parents are more worried about that and traffic, and I understand all that. That's So our children are going less far. Like you and I would probably say we're of the generation where we were lucky. We got to go out and play on the streets. A lot of people. I was working at a conference the other day, and I was asking what are your happy play memories, and what lots of people were saying. Well, actually, we got home from school. Mum didn't know where we were. And we just we knew when to come back, like 7 o'clock back home, but nobody knew where we were. That was our childhood. We were really lucky, but our children don't have that these days. So and with, thinking about the mental health and well-being of your 16-year-olds post 16, like, what is their experience? What is if it's 5 years since COVID, so they would have been 11, some of those students when COVID hit. So actually, that's really, really interesting to be thinking about.
Yeah. And it's interesting just to look at the legacy, and as you say, asking the participants at the conference you were speaking at last week, what are they noticing? If their thumbs are up or like this, what the impact is. And I think it depends on the age the child was when they were in the pandemic. We're seeing different effects, and it could be speech and language, it could be cooperative play, it could be the ability to sit and focus and concentrate. There's all different, depending on the age of the child when they were in that situation, what the impact of it is now.
Yeah, that's so true. I know, there are different needs for different children. Yes, it is. There's a legacy, and I know during that time it was talked about what would be the long-term impact.
Yeah.
And I don't really like to think about it, because actually I think we need to be doing that. This is why we're doing the work we do on the ground in terms of kind of really supporting schools.
Yeah. Well, it seems like play and connection
Connection.
are fundamental. So would you tell people where they can download the document that you just talked about, Why Play
Yeah.
Matters?
So Why Play Matters is actually not on our website yet, because it's a brand new document. So I'm going to put it in a link with basically I'll leave a link where we're posting this. So there'll be a link to that and a link to our playground games as well, free download of traditional playground games. And we're running a summer workshop too on playground games, in addition to all the other Our Positive Playtime programs. But we thought it's summer, we want to get children out having
Yeah.
fun. And actually we can spend a whole day teaching different classes playground games.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And what's your web address where people can find you?